Hello, my name is Jillian Breau and my pronouns are she, her, elle. Thanks for watching this quick video today. I just hope it shines a light on some career opportunities that are out there. And if I do mention anything that you want to know more about, I'll be including some contact info at the end, so please do feel free to reach out. Just a bit about me to start. I am from Moncton, New Brunswick. That's where I grew up until I moved to St. John's 6 years ago to go to MUN, and I've been living here ever since. And some things that I like to do is I've always been a big reader, and growing up I played a lot of different sports, but now a couple things that I like to do are yoga and going hiking. And a new hobby that I've recently picked up and really been enjoying is crocheting. So I included a picture there on the top right of a top that I made for my little sister recently. Yeah, because I have two sisters who are also in high school, probably like a lot of you. And when I was in high school, I just wanted to give some background. Like I said, spent most of my time playing lots of different sports, and I really liked reading and obviously hanging out with my friends in my spare time. And in school, the classes that I really liked the most were always science and math. And in terms of science, I particularly liked physics, but I never did in school or outside of school any coding or robotics or computer science classes or other programs. And so I think that it's so great that all of you are involved with STEM for Girls, but I just wanted to emphasize that even if you're not super involved in everything right away, there is lots of time to explore your interests and for your interests to change over time. So it's never too late for anything like that. So for me, because of liking math and physics, I had a plan to do engineering, but I was thinking of doing mechanical engineering. And so in the first year of engineering at MUN, which is where I went, as I said, what you do is you take general engineering courses. So you get a glimpse of all the different engineering disciplines that are offered. And when I was in my first programming class, I had never before seen a line of code, but I was having a lot of fun learning about it, and that fully changed my plans on what I was going to do. So I really liked solving problems with code, and I decided to become a computer engineer. And throughout my time in computer engineering, I got involved with lots of different engineering volunteer groups and met lots of great people. And the other thing that's been really important to me throughout my university education is the co-op program. So at MUN Engineering, there's required co-op work terms. And for the most part, throughout the program, it's 4 months on, 4 months off of school terms and work terms. And so I did 5 4-month work terms, and 3 of them were in St. John's, and 2 of them were in Ottawa, which was really cool. And yeah, for me, that was just the most important part of engineering, and they had a really big impact on my future. So when I was doing my work terms, I was kind of progressing through different fields and finding out about my likes and my dislikes. So I started off in just a more general engineering role. It was actually more of a mechanical or electrical role, but I gained really valuable skills that were always applicable to any of the later roles that I had too. And then once I had a bit of experience there, I was able to get a couple of computer engineering work terms, which were really great experience. That would be like the top right picture here. I was working a bit on hardware, a bit on software, and another software work term as well, but they weren't really specialized in a particular area that I loved. But then on my fourth work term, when I really had no experience yet in web development, I had the opportunity to start a web development work term where I learned a lot, and that was at MISA here in St. John's. And I found out that that's what I really like, web development, specifically even more so front-end development, which I will talk a bit about later. And so that's what I did for my last 2 work terms, and that's what I'm doing today. So through all of these different experiences, I was able to gain and use really similar skills that I still use every day today. So these are applicable across anything like communication, both oral communication that I use every day to communicate with my team and share my ideas, ask questions, and also written communication, again, to document things, to share ideas with my team. And then time management, which is, really something that can be gained through anything in life, whether it's a particular job or just in your day to day, having a busy schedule. That's really important for being to balance different priorities in a workplace. And then problem solving, that is really the root of what any type of engineering is. So that's something I've always gained and used. And then actually learning to learn is something that was a big thing from co-op work terms, because you have to be able to find information yourself on the internet or within the company. Maybe you need to know how long you should try to figure out a problem yourself until you should ask your supervisor a question. So that's been really useful for me. And then I don't know if this is exactly a skill or just kind of a trait that develops over time, but it's very relevant. Confidence. That is a huge thing for me from having the opportunity to work in jobs related to my field throughout school, that I feel more confident now in what I do know and in asking questions about what I don't know when I started working full-time after I graduated. And all of these can be gained in all sorts of things that you probably do regularly, like group projects at school or team sports or extracurriculars, not just in a workplace. And some other ways to gain some types of skills like that is not only by getting involved in kind of general activities, but you can also get involved in STEM-specific activities to build STEM-specific skills, not just those kind of transferable skills. So there are lots of ways that you can learn about STEM outside of school, and this is, not only about gaining those skills, but about finding out about what opportunities are out there and what kinds of things you enjoy. So obviously, I don't have to give details on each of these. I just really did want to call out STEM for Girls because I already think it's a great program that all of you are involved in. But anything else you can find that's offered either locally or online, like workshops or job shadowing opportunities to learn from what people are doing, different summer programs or short internship programs, different things like that, and just anything like an online course or kind of YouTube video that you can watch, because there's just so many resources out there now that you can build things. And if you're learning, programming specifically, a lot of courses will have project aspects of them, and you can kind of take that and expand upon that and really, get really practical experience. So how do I use all those skills that I've gained now? My role is a front-end engineer at a company called Silvera. So the company is actually based in London in the UK. And so I took this picture when I got to go recently to visit the office and meet my teammates in person, which was really exciting. But otherwise, I do work remotely from here in St. John's, which is great. And what the company does is we're fighting climate change. We are rating carbon offsets, which are ways that companies can offset their carbon emissions. And so we're helping other companies reach their net zero goals. And it's really exciting for me to be working in the climate industry. That's what brought me to this company, and that's been a really big goal of mine. So what do I actually do there every day? What my team does is we create web applications. So a web application is a bunch of different things that you would use all the time, like Instagram, a portal for online courses, any online shopping. Basically, it's just a bit more than a website because you can interact with it and it stores your information. And particularly, I do front-end development. So a web application has a back-end and a front end. And the back end is where data is stored and moved around. So on something like Instagram, data might be who follows who. And in an online course, it's what course are you registered for. But then the front end is where you can actually see that and interact with that as the user. So kind of like on the screen here on the left, what we are showing to the user is the rating of a carbon offset project. But what you would be seeing as a user of Instagram is, the images, and you'd be able to click and go on someone's profile. So In front-end development, there's still lots of logic and problem solving involved, just like there is with any kind of software development. But we also get to work closely with designers, and we often get to use creativity to make things look nice, which is a fun part, in my opinion. And some technologies that I personally use to do that are TypeScript, which is really similar to JavaScript that some of you might have heard of, and React, which is a JavaScript framework, and then also HTML and CSS, which are really the base of any website or web application. And there are lots of resources out there to learn about HTML and CSS and how to build your own website. So what I do usually in the run of a day is I collaborate with other engineers, but also people on project management, design, and quality teams. So they're making sure that the design of the app that we're building looks really nice, and then that we implement it at a high quality that works really well, and that the customer is really satisfied with the final product. So most mornings I'll have meetings with my team members where we'll share some status updates and have some design sessions on how we're going to build some new features. And then I spend the day building those features. So one day recently, I built this on the left here, which basically can take in any list of images, and then it'll make a nice moving carousel animation out of them with the pretty animated dots on the bottom. So that was something that I got to build. And some really high aspects for me about my job is that I do get to work from home. Just in general, I love working from home for several reasons, with not having to drive into the office, not having to pack my lunch, getting to wear whatever I want, comfy pants. And also in my personal experience, I get to work with different coworkers from around the world who are also working from home. So that's really interesting to be able to talk to them about where they live and everything. It gives me a great work-life balance, just with the general flexibility of working from home, and also the fact that in my company we have really good policies and people are really respectful of one another's time, so that sometimes when you're working from home, that can be a bad thing because there's not a separation between work and life, but people don't reach out to each other after hours and everyone logs off at the end of the day. So I get to kind of go on with my day. And for me, another interesting thing with going on with my day is that happens kind of early, because I have it set up so that since most of my coworkers are working out of European time zones, I start my day super early and then I finish my day super early. So that's a cool flexibility. And I get to learn new things every day at work for sure. My teammates are so smart, but are still the type of people who don't mind ever helping others out. And I'm given lots of responsibility and challenges, even as a junior engineer. So I get to kind of push myself and learn new things. I also get to be a member of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee at work, where we're making sure that people within the company have more equitable experiences for people from underrepresented groups. And then again, it's really a big deal to me that our company is fighting climate change. And something that I think is so powerful nowadays is that anyone from any background, not only those who have a background in, say, environmental engineering, can work on solving the problem of climate change. And that goes the other way around too. People with an engineering background can now work on solving any problem, because there are people, using software to solve problems in climate change, healthcare, anything like that. So you can really do anything with the skills that you build. And otherwise, I just want to shout out some awesome STEM organizations, and I might be a bit biased because these are some organizations that I volunteer with myself. So Canada Learning Code is getting back to in-person experiences in St. John's. So we're going to have workshops for girls, kids, teens, and ladies to learn different coding skills. So that'll be very exciting. Digital Waves NL is an organization that offered an app design contest here remotely across the island, and there will be more coming soon. And then WiseNL is something that I participated in as a mentor for university students, but they have great programs for high school students to get involved and find out more about STEM careers. So there will be some information about those on the next slide as well here. And I also have my own information. If you have any questions about anything I talked about today, I'd be really happy to answer. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was useful.